All right, so I hope everybody's doing good this November. We're getting into the holiday season, and I got something for you. I got a little early Christmas gift. I got Affinity combined with fairies, and this is where I've gotten to with the deck. It's basically a blue-black control deck built around Blood Fountain and Refurbished Familiar, which I'm sure you're not sick of seeing Refurbished Familiar hit the battlefield in 2025 Pauper, but it's back again, and it's going to keep coming back because of the Blood Fountains. So basically, I was playing a bunch of Mono Black Sacrifice, right? And I kept playing against this Refurbished Familiar card, and I was like, man, this card looks awesome. So I was like, okay, how can I play this card in the Mono Black Sac deck? And this is basically what I came to with this deck, which is you just play some Vault of Whispers, you play Blood Fountain, and you play the Refurb. And that was cool because you could Supernatural Stamina or Beckoner it and then return it to the battlefield after you sacrifice it. And it's a flyer, so it gave you some reach. Kind of cool in this deck, but not exactly what I wanted. So I built some other versions, which was like more controlling. I was trying to use the black sort of Gardens-esque draw package with Ichor Wellspring and Nihil Spellbomb. This was okay. You can see it's not fully built. I have 5 cards to play with, so yeah. Honestly, I think this version of the deck might be kind of good. Maybe you play some counter spells or something, and some Cryogen Relics or something like this could be good. Maybe you don't even need Thoughtcast. It's basically just Gardens. The problem it's just a worse version of the Gardens decks because the green cards are quite good. So it's like, all right, well if that's not it, and then I tried to play Esper Affinity for a bit. And this is where I got to with that. Still not exactly what I wanted to play, so I went back to the black shell with the spell bombs and stuff, and I tried to play foil with Cryogen Relic, and that was a little not that good. And then I decided to just play sort of a mid-range version of the deck. And I saw Kali Kai's Side and Raken. He had an Esper list that was doing ninja stuff with like ornithopters and a bunch of the inspector cards like Thraven Inspector. And but what excited me about his list was just the ninjas with Refurbished Familiar. So I took that and I tried to build sort of a ninja, kind of taking some inspiration from the zombies deck and from fairies. I figure Spellstutter Sprite's great even if you don't have any other fairies because it's just so good. There's a lot of good 1-mana cards, but still playing Snuff Out. So I had a lot of swamps. I had these Shambling Ghasts. I needed a lot of swamps to play my cards, and I played this through a league maybe, and then I got to here. I think this is what I played during the um, Super Qualifier last week. So what would that have been? It would have been November 8th or so, the weekend of November 8th, and I played this version of the deck. And you can see we're sort of dialing into where we want it to be. We still have one Snuff Out. We were still playing Swamps because we had the Shambling Ghasts, but obviously during the time that I was playing the deck, I realized, okay, if I'm going to play Counterspell and Hacker with stuff to recast, I kind of need more blue sources. I was only on 3 Lorien, and I had these Shambling Ghasts, and Shambling Ghasts plus a Curse Marauder is cool, but the Ghasts were not that good. They were all right, honestly. They're not so bad because they're like decent attackers. It's kind of hard to block them. They trade with a lot of the cheap stuff, and sometimes like if it's a 1 power or 1 toughness creature blocking it, you get to trade with value. So they don't want to block it that often. It's a decent blocker itself, but um, ultimately after that tournament, I decided I wanted to try the Fairy Seers out, see if it was worth having that with the spell stutters. They're also, it's true, the Shambling Ghast is a decent attacker, but they can block it, and then just having flying is very valuable for the Fairies here. So at this point, I was still on a Snuff Out with some swamps. Not really that many swamps, and I had a Snuff Out on the sideboard. And I played this for a bit, and then I got to this list. Okay, now I got to the list that I played for the tournament yesterday, which would have been here. And you can see I had 3 Accursed Marauders, 3 cast downs. I switched one of these Macabres to a Suffocating Fumes, and I'm at the 4th Lorien now. I've also cut the swamps, and I was playing a Aqueduct and a Bog. I think I ended up cutting the Aqueduct for another swamp, or for a Singleton Swamp. My sideboard was very slanted towards the red decks. You see I have 2 Ambushers and 5 Blue Blasts, as well as Duresses, which is also good there. So I'm very prepped for red. I didn't actually play against red at all. I know it had a bad weekend the weekend before, but still I was expecting normal amount of red players. I played against 0. And then, so I've gotten the list to this point. This is where I think I'm going to be, at least for the foreseeable future moving forward, and we're going to play a league of this. I'm going to post that, and you'll be able to watch some gameplay. But the deck's been great. It's sort of a tempo control deck, right? You can have some draws where you get to, play an early FAM, and then bounce it with a ninja, replay it, and then you're up a card, they're down 2 cards, and it's just very hard to lose from that point, especially if you have anything else going on. You can also grind in the late game using your blood fountains to recur your creatures, your spellster sprites, your marauders against something like Tolarian Terrors. It's very good to recur. And then you have 4 3-for-1s, and then 4 2-for-1s. And a Thorn to play the late game with. So you have a lot of grind, and you're also presenting a fairly legitimate aggressive threat. So you get to sort of start the game off doing something proactive, and then you have still the ability to be a reactive deck as well. So we've got effectively 8 removal spells in the main deck, and 4 counter spells. So this is 12 interaction pieces, so to speak, and the Marauders as well. They can be recruited by the Blood Fountains, which helps quite a bit. And then the rest of the deck, it basically, you're just trying to cycle through your deck. You're trying to generate advantage with your 2-for-1s, which would be all of these cards, as well as the Blood Fountains themselves. So, you just have a ton of 2-for-1s in this deck. So you can fight. This is sort of a 2-for-1 if you can get it. This is sort of a 2-for-1 if you can counter something, right? These are not, I suppose Suffocating Fumes could be, but this is all 1-for-1. The Fairy Seer is probably the weakest card in the deck. If someone has a suggestion for a different card to play in the slot, I could see just playing Spell Stutters with the in the deck, and then worst case scenario, if your opponent's deck doesn't have any 1-drops that you want to counter for some reason, which seems unlikely in this format, but if they don't have any 1-drops at all, then you can just cut them post board. So I think that would be a legitimate strategy, and then you're just sort of playing to circuit hacker your familiars. And I mean, you could even, if you were just playing spell starters, you could even see like cutting these 8 cards and becoming like a full control deck. Like, let's say this was more interaction or something, or maybe some sort of maybe a cantrip or something, right? Either way, let's say this is just in this pile, all right? And then let's say that this was our deck, and then the post board in the matchup where Spellstar Sprite was not good, you could just cut all 8 of these and sort of transform into sort of a Gardens-esque strategy where you're kind of trying to grind the game out. You have a bunch of, but you have the blue 2-for-1s. So I don't know. The deck's obviously still evolving, but I do really like where it's at right now. I think it's really good. If you guys want to see more of a breakdown, I can do one after I finish the sideboard matrix. I'm going to type up a whole guide with probably something like the top 10 matchups in the format, maybe more. If there's anything specific you'd like me to map out, let me know. And yeah, hopefully the deck does not somehow become significantly worse once people know about it. I think that I basically blipped onto the Pauper radar with this. I come from the pioneer modern standard scene, so I've been having a lot of fun with Pauper. It's been kind of a blast. So hopefully I can keep enjoying the format, and this deck stays good, and I can play it paper when the cards come in the mail. And when I have time, I'll try and play some challenges. And if I can spike a challenge, who knows? Who knows? The world might be our oyster. Maybe we'll be playing the mirrors soon enough, and The mirrors sound awful, honestly. Just yeah, the mirrors sound kind of disgusting because it's just going to be super grindy. Your spell stutter sprites, you're going to be fighting over spell stutter sprite with blood fountains. Bring my spell stutter back. You're probably going to have to play. Probably gonna have to play Nihil Spellbomb. I'll say Nihil Spellbomb is kind of an annoying card to try and beat because you need like 2 blood fountains in play and 8 mana or something if you want to try and recur something, and they can just leave it in play and force you to do this. And then if they find a second spell bomb, then you get hosed anyway. So it's really quite annoying. I'm not sure the best way to play around the spell bomb when you have a blood fountain in play. It might just be that you're supposed to try and force them to crack it when they can't draw a card from the spell bomb. Then at least you're trading sort of 0 for 0, but they get your graveyard. I'm not sure. I obviously the best thing to do is to just counter it with spell stutter sprite, but you can't always do that. Yeah, so I'll probably do another video once I get the sideboard matrix done. We can go over some of the more popular matchups, and then I'll do a video as well where I take you through a league and we see some gameplay with the deck. I might also review some specific matches from the tournaments over the last couple of weeks. If I look back and see some games that might demonstrate some specific things, but you can do some really gross stuff with the deck. You can, play Refurb, bounce it with a Ninja, play it again. You can do the same thing with Marauders and Blood Fountain. You can sack a different creature besides your Marauder and then Ninja the Marauder back and then get the Marauder to play back so that you can get another use out of it. Yeah, a lot to be said, but maybe the most important thing to say is you should try it yourself and tell me how it goes and see if there's any cards that you would recommend we try moving forward. Preach.